Okay, so let me share my screen and then we start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have conjunction as a word is a part of speech. Of course, you understand that we have basically 8 parts of speech. 8 parts of speech. We have the noun, we have the pronoun, we have the verb, we have the adverb, we have the adjective, we have the preposition, we have the interjection, then we have the conjunction. So we are supposed to be dealing with each of these parts of speech and the types. For instance, a verb has so many types. You talk of a main or lexical verb, you talk of auxiliary verb or modal verbs, you talk of transitive verb, you talk of intransitive verb, you talk of regular verb and irregular verb, you talk of linking verb and so many types of verbs. All these we're supposed to learn them such that you'll be able to use them in writing effectively. But let's see how we go about this. For conjunction, we basically know that conjunction is a connective. The reason why it is called connective is that you use it in connecting or linking words, linking phrases, linking sentences or clauses together. They may join two similar parts of speech, such as two adjectives, two verbs, or two nouns. Conjunctions may also connect two clauses. Then there are basically 3 types of conjunction that we need to know. We will learn them today. The first one is the coordinating conjunction, and that one is used to unite two independent clauses, while a subordinating conjunction joins one independent clause and one independent clause. Now, this is a secret. If you understand how to use a coordinating conjunction, such as and, yet, so, but, for, or, and not, it means you are able or you understand how to write a compound sentence. That's how English is connected. So you're being able to write a compound sentence means you understand the use of coordinating conjunction. Apart from using semicolon to join two independent clauses to make a compound sentence, you can also use a coordinating conjunction to achieve that. So your understanding of a coordinating conjunction helps you to do what? To know what a compound sentence is. So anytime you are bringing two independent clauses in the picture and joined by a conjunction, such conjunction is said to be what? A coordinating conjunction, which could include and, yet, so, but, for, or, and not. We have an acronym for all these, and we call it fanboys. We call it fanboys. FANBOYS, fanboys. Fanboys, where F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. So if you remember fanboys, you will remember all the coordinating conjunction. Now, is here. To recall the 7 coordinating conjunction, remember the word fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Now, but do not begin a sentence with the coordinating conjunction and, but, so, or yet. It is wrong that you begin a sentence with and, but, so, or yet as a form of what? Coordinating conjunction. It is for is poetic. If you are using for to begin as a line in any writing, it means you are trying to be so poetic. It means you have gone beyond the language way of writing something, but then you beginning to use literature in your writing. You understand? So let's look at the second one, which is our attention is going to focus on the subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction. In subordinating conjunction, like we have earlier established, you need one independent clause and one dependent clause to form a subordinating conjunction. You need one independent clause and one dependent clause to form a subordinating conjunction. Now, let me share my screen again, and then let's see how that plays out. In a subordinating conjunction, you need one independent clause and one dependent clause. In other words, if you understand the use of subordinators, it will help you to write a good complex sentence. Remember, in IELTS exam that you are about to write or you are preparing to write, you need to have a deeper understanding of complex structures, how to write complex sentences. And your knowledge of subordinating conjunction will help you achieve that. Apart from your knowledge of relative clause is when you are using the three types of pronoun to write a complex sentence, such as who, which, and that. Who, which, and that are relative pronouns that you use in writing, forming relative clauses. So apart from using the relative clauses to write a complex sentence, you can use subordinating conjunctions, because a complex sentence will require one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. One independent clause and at least one dependent clause. One dependent clause must be, in that dependent clause must be introduced or begin with a subordinator, such as after, although, as if, as long as though, because, before, even if, even though, if only, in order that, now that, once, rather than, since, so that, then, that, though, till, unless, until, when, whenever, where, whereas, wherever, while. Anytime you are using this to begin a clause, it means that clause is a dependent clause. The clause needs another clause which is independent to make it a complex sentence. So your knowledge and understanding of a subordinating conjunction is very, very key or essential, because it will actually help you to write a very good complex sentence. All right, let's try this. So if I see, for instance, I'm trying to give you all a sentence here. Give me a few seconds. Let me come up with some sentences. Okay, but before we get to the sentences, let's quickly discuss the last type of conjunction, which is correlative conjunction. The last type of conjunction, which is correlative conjunction. In a correlative conjunction, you notice that you need something that goes in pairs, something that you know that they are usually in pairs. For instance, both and. If I say both, as what's your name? I find it difficult to pronounce your name.
Me?
Yes.
Asad Bek. You can call me Asad.
I can call you what?
Asad.
Asad.
Yes.
Okay. So if I say both Asad and Savinj are students, because I want to pair up, I want to pair both of you in the put both of you in the picture. So I have to use both and as what a correlative conjunction. This conjunction comes or are usually used in pairs. They use parallel structure. Tomorrow I'm going to teach you parallel structure in English, how to use parallel structure, because oftentimes when students are writing, they don't know when to write, how to use a parallel structure in writing. So they use parallel structure. In other words, they must be balanced between the subject and the verb. If the verb is singular, the subject also will be singular. If the verb is plural, the subject will also be plural. And if we have two verbs, we must also have two subjects in this other aspect. That is what we call parallel structure. I'm going to take that as a topic of discussion precisely tomorrow, which means that the same grammatical forms appear on each side of the conjunction. So example of the correlative conjunction, we have both and, either or, neither nor, not only but also, whether or, not but, and as. Look at this example. Whether you earn an A or get a lower grade, do your best. Whether or, we are using this one an example now. Whether you earn an A or get a lower grade, do your best. So each conjunction here is followed by what? A verb. Whether you earn is a verb, get is a verb. So both of them, that's what we call in English parallel structure. Parallel structure means the same number of verb in this part on this side of the clause or conjunction, and the same level or number of verb on this side of the clause or conjunction. So the first conjunction, whether you earn, the verb earn, then or get and earn are both verbs, and each of them is required to form a sentence with what? A correlative conjunction. Look at the second one. Both John and Bill are excellent tennis players. Both John and Bill are excellent tennis players. Both John and Bill, both and, are excellent tennis players. So each conjunction is followed by what? A noun, which is John and Bill. Then we have neither the professor nor the student understood the problem. Neither the professor nor the student understood the problem. Each conjunction again is followed by what? A noun. Number one, neither is followed by professor, and nor is followed by the student. That's what we call the use of correlative conjunction. And this works well only on parallel structures. That's very, very important. Okay, so let's move on to the next exercise and then see how we can better get our understanding right here. So we move to this aspect where I'm going to ask some questions. So in the aspect of coordinating conjunction, I understand that every student have a fair knowledge of a coordinating conjunction, such as and, but, so, or, yet, and all. For instance, the rain is very heavy, dash, the game will probably not be played. What would be the answer there? Justin, what would be the answer to number one? Vince, what would be the answer to number two? And Safia, what would be the answer to number three? And what would be the answer to number four?
Okay. The rain is very heavy, so the game will probably not be played.
But that is not your question. Your question is number four.
Mine? Okay.
Your question is number four. That question was for Justin. Justin R. Thank you for joining, or someone has just joined again. Please remember to drop your names in the so that I will use it for attendance. So the rain is very heavy, so the game will probably not be played. Thank you, Asaf, for that answering that question, but your question was number four. Number two, Savin, your question?
Number two?
Yes.
John works in a restaurant on weekends.
Okay, so what would be the...
And?
Okay. Was and? Okay. John works in a restaurant on weekends and during the week. John works in a restaurant on weekends and during the week.
Yes.
Is that a compound sentence? Between number 1 and number 2, which one is a compound sentence?
One.
Number 1 is a compound sentence. Is number 2 not a compound sentence?
No.
Why?
Because there's no comma, there's no apostrophe. It's all one part.
Okay, there is no comma. Okay, I can accept that. But apart from that, what else makes it not a compound sentence? The other the other part of the clause does not have no verb.
Yeah,
Remember,
because transition. It has a transition word, not a. It doesn't have a conjunction. It has a transition verb and.
okay, thank you. Now look at John works in a restaurant. That's a simple sentence. That's also an independent clause. But during the week is a phrase. During the week is a phrase. It makes no sense. There is no verb there during the week. There is no verb there. And a clause without a verb cannot even produce anything meaningful. Because the verb in English is the obligatory grammatical element. The verb is an obligatory grammatical element in writing or in sentence. Without the verb, we cannot have a sentence. Without the verb, we cannot even have an independent clause. Without the verb, the sentence is not meaningful. So the compulsory or obligatory grammatical element, the verb, is not even found there. And that's not even a clause. You cannot even describe this as a dependent clause at all. It is just a phrase. So that makes it just a simple sentence. That and is just used to join the noun weekends and week. The and is used to join weekends and week. In other words, we have what we call in English compound subjects. When you have two subjects in a sentence, we describe that as a compound subject. When you have, so it is possible to have a compound subject in a sentence without make that sentence being a compound sentence. So the fact that you have a compound subject, that is two nouns in a sentence, does not make that sentence a compound sentence. A compound sentence comes when both clauses are independent and are joined by a coordinating conjunction or semicolon. I hope we understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, Safia, can you please answer number 3?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, why?
Mary has a great job, but she's a very unhappy person.
Thank you. Do we call that a compound sentence?
I think yes.
What makes it a compound sentence?
Because we have independent clauses.
How many?
2.
2 independent clauses. Thank you. Sherry has a great job. That's an independent clause. In other words, that clause can stand on its own. It's a simple sentence. All independent clauses are simple sentences or simple sentences. Then he is a very unhappy person. Sherry has a great job, but she is a very unhappy person. That's a perfect example of a compound sentence. Okay, let's welcome Justin has left. We have another person here, Moru John. Is that the name? Can you please answer number 4 question? Can you please answer number 4 question, please? Are you there? Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
4th one, yes.
Number 4.
The sun is shining highly.
Okay, so
But
we have, what's the answer?
A and
Is it and or but or so?
The sun is shining highly, and the picnic is still but
the picnic was still cancelled.
Answer is but.
Okay, thank you. The sun is shining brightly, but the picnic was still cancelled. Now I want you to look at the sentence. Asad, do you agree that that sentence has a parallel structure? Is there anything? Do we have parallel structure in the sentence? Number 4, the sun is shining brightly, but the picnic was still cancelled.
Yeah.
Remember what I said about parallel structure. That parallel structure means you have the same number of verbs you have in the other part of the clause is what you are going to have in the other part of the clause. So can we say that this sentence number 4 has a parallel structure?
What?
Thank you so much. I'm not asking you now. I'm asking Asad the question. The second number 4 question, the sun is shining brightly. Your answer is, but the picnic was still cancelled. That's very correct. But I'm asking Asad now, does the sentence have parallel structure?
The verb. Yeah, because here in the first part, in the first clause, the sun is shining brightly. We have a verb. And then in the next part, the second clause, the picnic was still cancelled. Cancelled is the verb here.
Okay, thank you. But then the problem with that sentence is that the first part of the clause uses present tense, is shining. But the second part of the clause uses past tense, was cancelled. So this is present continuous, is shining. But the other part of the clause uses past, simple past, was cancelled. Not even past continuous, but past, simple past, which means there is no parallel structure in that sentence. It could have just been, the sun is shining brightly, but the picnic is cancelled. Or the sun is shining brightly, but the picnic is still cancelled. If it was the sun shines brightly, but the picnic is cancelled, that would have been both of them, both past and past. But in this case, we have present continuous in the first part of the clause, and then we have simple past in the other part of the clause, which shows that there is no parallel structure in that sentence. In a situation where there is parallel structure, you have both verbs in the same tense and same number of verbs in the same expression. I hope you understand that. I'm going to explain that tomorrow when I have lesson with you on parallel structure. So at this time, this is 7 o'clock. I want you to go and do exercise 2 and 5 and 7 and send it to me before 6 o'clock Uzbekistan time. Go use the worksheet. I posted the worksheet yesterday in your and on the platform. Go download it and then answer question 2, exercise 2, exercise 5 and 7. Is that okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And I would like to have the pre-intermediate now, because between this hour and the next 30 minutes, I'm supposed to have pre-intermediate class. So I will see you again tomorrow, where I'm going to teach you another topic.
Okay.
Remember to do exercise 2, 5, and 7. Please type all the names of those who attended the lesson to me on the chat on the platform, so that I can use that to compile the attendance. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and bye. Please send the attendance to me. Thank you.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Sevi.
Bye, Moro John.
Yes.